Hi everyone, moving on to our next assignment. It's going to deal with squares and square roots. Actually, just a quick review of that. The assignment's cubes and cube roots. So real quick, this is what we did in the last assignment, just reviewing. It dealt with area and squares and the length of the side. So you can see I sketched a little square here, and the area is 16. There's 16 little squares inside there. That's what area really means in a way. And the length of the side is 4. You were always either given the area or the side length. Okay, if you were given the length of the side, you had to square that number to get the area. If you were given the area, you had to take the square root to get the length of the side. So that's where we were, and I just want to point out, looking at some of the assignments, let's avoid this mistake right here. And this video looks much more clear. The other ones were blurry at times, but I saw this mistake on a problem like this. This is not true, everyone. The square root of 144 is not 12 squared. Okay, it's just 12. And it's 12 because 12 squared is 144. If you put this in a calculator, you're going to get 144. The square root of 144 is not 144. That is not equal. Okay, remember, this is a question. This says, what number times itself is 144? 12. So I saw that more than once, so I just wanted to make you aware. Okay, so moving on to cubes today. I know we saw them already, but just quick compare and contrast. Okay, the square root of 64 is 8, because 8 times 8, or 8 squared, is 64. Should look familiar. Now the cube root, see that little 3 there, of 64 is 4, because 4 times 4 times 4, or 4 cubed, is 64. Actually, 64 is a perfect square, because you get a whole number. It's also a perfect cube. It gives you a whole number, though. So we don't work with a lot of numbers that are both perfect squares and perfect cubes, but 64 is one of them. Okay, so moving on to today's assignment. First, we'll do some together, and then I will just post the assignment. So, as I said, you're going to have cubes now. And if you're given the volume, so it's not area anymore, and we want to know, well, how long is the side? See, find the length of the cube. Like, what's this length right there? Or right here, or right there, they're all the same. You will do the cube root of the volume. And I already wrote it over there. In a calculator, you have to do the cube root, not square root, and you will get 3. And the answer is 3, everyone, because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. You know, volume is length times width times height, but they're all the same number. Okay, so that's finding the side length. Over here, I changed the problem to make it look more like the homework. Find the volume. See, I don't know what the volume is, but I have the side length. So I'm just going to do 5 times 5 times 5. I'm just going to cube that number. And I get 125 centimeters cubed. So it's just forward and backward. Like before, we would square and take the square root. Well, now we will cube the number or take the cube root. If you try these two, they're basically the same problem. And I'll then give the answer. So assuming you paused the video and did it yourself, if I have the volume, I need to take the cube root of the volume, which will give me a 5. It's actually this problem backwards. This one, I know the length of the side is 7, and feel free to label things if that helps you. 7 times 7 times 7 is 343. Oh wait, that should not be cubed right there. Back I go. Just the length of the side. Sorry. When you're dealing with volume, the units are cubed. If not, they are not. Okay, so quickly some down here, then I can show you the back of this, which is the assignment. It's basically finding the cube root of all these numbers. Now, don't panic if you see decimals or fractions, but quickly, the cube root of 27 is 3, because 3 cubed is 27. And I already showed you this one. The answer is 4, because 4 cubed is 64. The cube root of 1 is 1, because 1 to the third power is 1. Okay, so down here, you'll just be finding the cube root. Some of them are whole numbers. And see, I'm writing without thinking. That's just a 5. Good thing I'm using a pencil, right? This one's a 7. Now, if you see a fraction and you're going to in the assignment, no worries. Okay, just do the cube root of the numerator and the cube root of the denominator. It's really no harder. You might just have to press a couple more buttons. You can try these over here on your own, and I'll give you these answers in a second. All right, well, some of you tried them, and I think some of you probably didn't. That one is 1/10. Cube root of 8 is 2. Cube root of 125 is 5. Decimals, you just do it the same way. I got 0.1 for that one. 0.3 for this one. Now here, this one's going to give you a decimal. And when you get a decimal, just round it off to the first decimal place. Don't write out the whole thing, because it fills up a calculator. Just round it to the tenths place. And same on the last one, you're going to get 5.1. Okay? So on the assignment, it's going to look very similar. Right? You're given the volume. What's the length of the side? You're given the length of the side. What's the volume? The table. I filled in the ones that might seem a little strange. I did a couple of the decimal ones for you. So to go this direction, cube the number. To go right to left, take the cube root. And you will see a couple of the fractions. I did one of them. I just left you one. And at the bottom, just taking the cube root. Again, some of these will be decimals. Just round it off to the first decimal place. Okay, do your best. If you have any questions, always let me know and I'll help you. Good luck.